Okay, so we're going to move on now to Thistles and Dandelions team, who talked to us at lunch about food, which was absolutely delicious, if mouth-watering. They're going to talk to us about opening up heritage. They are a heritage lottery funded project run by Empower Women for Change that aims to support Glasgow's Black, Asian, ethnic minority, migrant, refugee and asylum seeking women in accessing heritage. Their focus is on building skills and community and working towards more diversity in the heritage sector. You're very welcome.
Thanks very much for having us, and thanks for that introduction. I've really enjoyed all the talks so far, and we feel really honoured to be able to speak among so many great projects and speakers. It's been really inspiring and engaging, so we'll try and keep your interest for just a little bit longer. Some of you may have already heard from us at the lunch session, where some of our members of the group were discussing food and heritage, which I hope some of you got the chance to sit in on. We are Thistles and Dandelions, and I'm Romy, the Community Engagement Officer.
Hello everybody, I'm Fizza. I'm one of the volunteer coordinators. So Thistles and Dandelion is an 18-month heritage lottery funded project run by Empower Women for Change. And this is our first heritage project aimed in supporting women in accessing heritage and developing skills and learning about Scottish women's history. We have developed a program with key partners, and it's tailored to the needs of underrepresented women in heritage who live in Glasgow, particularly ethnic minority women. The project's focus is on building skills, community, and breaking down the barriers that women face on a daily basis and creating an enriching environment.
So just as a quick overview of what we're going to talk about, we're going to give a bit of background on the organisation Empower Women for Change and the Thistles and Dandelions group and our partners, then talk you through the workshops that we're doing and some of the outputs of the project. And then you can hear some recordings from 3 members from our group. So onto the first slide, please.
Thank you very much. So Empower Women for Change was formed in 2015 in response to the growing needs of the diverse women in Scotland, where gaps in support were identified in relation to the empowerment and advancement of women's rights and active participation in all aspects of civil, economic, and political settings. This group has been effective in developing its own constitution and initiating support programs enabling direct engagement, not only with the diverse women and communities, but also with policy stakeholders at local and national levels. Some of our previous projects are sharing and learning. Sharing and learning projects give women a space to talk about what matters to them, confidence building, their needs, their issues, and how they want to move forward to achieve for themselves. Space to Escape. Space to Escape is our arts project. It's our first arts project as well. It's aimed to provide free high quality art workshop for diverse ethnic minority women. This has created a space for relaxation, improved mental health and well-being, creativity, shared learning, integration, and social interaction. Space to Escape will have an exhibition in Gallery of Modern Art in 2021. And our current projects are digital inclusion and digital literacy, counseling, and mental health support, the low carbon community project, food support, and of course, Thistle and Dandelions. Can we go to the next slide, please? Thank you.
So the team at Empower Women for Change recruited 23 members to be part of the Thistles and Dandelions group. The women represent lots of communities in Scotland. They're from Sudan, Yemen, Pakistan, Iraq, Iran, Nigeria, Kurdistan, Italy, France, Scotland, and England. And the group have lots of really varied interests in the project. Some have academic backgrounds, some are looking to work in heritage, some are looking for transferable skills, some are looking for community and to meet people, and some are just looking to learn more about Scottish women's history and the city in general. So through the workshops, members will develop skills such as object handling, oral history recording, creative writing, exhibition design, photography, storytelling, delivering workshops, and much more. We also aim to support them in accessing volunteering opportunities, education and employment within the heritage sector. So the group were recruited during the first lockdown, so the whole programme has been set up and delivered online and remotely, which, as I'm sure many other projects here have had the experience of, has had its challenges. But we've also seen quite a fair few benefits to it as well. And also being able to provide these workshops and events right now is also making a difference at a time when people are perhaps quite cut off from their networks of friends and family. So the project partners are Gallery of Modern Art, Glasgow Museums, Scottish Civic Trust, Glasgow Women's Library, David Livingstone Birthplace, and Women's History Scotland, and lots of generous individuals as well. So being able to hear directly from the experiences and the knowledge of professionals practicing in the sector is a massive opportunity for the group, and we're really grateful for our partners giving their time and skills, and especially for adapting with us to provide everything online. We plan these sessions really carefully with our partners to ensure they have a full understanding of the varied skill sets, backgrounds and levels of prior knowledge in our group. And one of the aspects we work towards is bridging the gap between academic knowledge and public engagement. So one of the examples of this is a partnership with 3 historians from Women's History Scotland, Valerie Wright, Rebecca Mason and Hannah Telling, who are mentoring our group in research. So our group is split into 3 smaller groups, and each will be researching a specific era in women's history, which their respective mentor specialises in. And now Fizz will tell you a bit more about the workshops with our partners. Next slide, please.
So the workshops and themes, we've just finished the first blog, Developing Exhibition, where Gallery of Modern Art gave an introduction to exhibitions, explored what it takes to put on an exhibition, the roles and jobs involved, the skills and career pathways. The group have been introduced to the fundamentals of curating an exhibition, writing accessible information for visitors, and engaging different audience with museums and gallery displays. They took part in 4 workshops with the Learning and Access team, where their learning was based on the Domestic Bliss exhibition currently on display at Gallery of Modern Art, which is also known as GOMA, which explores the topic of home. The women were given a wide range of resources. They looked at current Glasgow Museum's collections. They learned about what makes a good display and what does not. Then they went into learning more practical skills, such as how to write accessible information and labels for objects, how to take good photo for display. We've also had a documentary screening and question answer sessions of Her Century with Emily Monroe from the Moving Image Archive at Kelvin Hall, and from Carolina Perez from Glasgow Museum has given us a talk on women protest history, which was great. And the second block of workshop is with objects and collections. Valerie Wright has talked about the Women's Cooperative Guild, her own research and using primary sources. Curator Kate Simpson from David Livingstone Trust has facilitated a session about using objects in their collection to tell the story of women who shaped David Livingstone's life. And Sinead Rogers will be talking about her own research with archives, looking at how collections are accessed, researched, catalogued, and made public by museums and researchers. And there are lots of more speakers and workshops still to be announced. And the third block is Communities and Heritage, where we will be working with Scottish Civic Trust, which is very exciting, and Museum Galleries Scotland. We will work with our group to deliver a community learning session and interpretation text and translations. We will also deliver a set of language cafe events, translating door open days text in preparation for translating heritage walks. Throughout these workshops, the group have been collecting research and making material for our heritage trail. So the fourth blog is with Glasgow Women's Library, who will take our group on heritage trails to help us produce and deliver our own. One of the biggest strengths of this project is the holistic understanding of the needs and context of each woman in the group's life, and constructing the project to take these into account. So for example, scheduling workshop around when childcare isn't needed. Some of the groups experience language or cultural barriers. Some of them are new to Glasgow, so there are some elements of support needed to get to the venue. So we have set up a communication system based on each individual's needs, such as text messages or phone calls for those who cannot access internet regularly. We provide travel and meeting expenses, internet vouchers, some IT devices and support. Next slide, please.
So on to the outputs, which I'll just briefly mention for the next couple of slides. We recently launched an exhibition online with GOMA, which you can see on their blog, which will be physically displayed at the gallery at some point in the new year. This came out of the first round of workshops, which Fizza mentioned, where participants selected and curated their own object relating to the themes of the current exhibition, Domestic Bliss, and also to the themes of the Thistles and Dandelions project. The objects created this interesting collection that explored shared themes like the domestic and feminism, also share personal stories and intimate relationships. We also held a careers fair over the first week in October, featuring a host of women in heritage sharing their experiences and advice. We had Lee Scott from the Hunterian, Natalie Miller from Museum Gallery Scotland, talking about navigating the cultural heritage sector, one temporary contract at a time. We had Zandra Yeaman, the curator for Discomfort at the Hunterian speaking. We had Louise McCoward from Fair Museum Jobs, talking about how to research an organisation when you're applying for jobs, along with lots of other speakers. All of them were very grateful for giving their time. And it was a really interesting and inspiring week. And we've also got our main output, which is the Heritage Trail that our group will be developing and delivering, which will be getting completed around June next year, and features guides in different languages, lots of pieces of local and national history as well. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And the next slide, please. Throughout the project, we've also been designing material for the group to make sure they're getting the most out of the opportunities involved. So this is from things like journal and note keeping to help them reflect on each workshop, think about how they're contributing and keep notes on possible points of research. We've also developed this CPD chart, which you can see part of on the top right of the screen here. This is to allow each individual to think actively about how they're progressing in different areas of the project. So at interims throughout, they'll reassess, return to reassess themselves on the chart, and it offers help to look at how they can proactively build in activities and exercises that will help them progress in the areas they've identified that they would like to. So around the matrix here, we've got different areas of the project. For example, a section on heritage, which covers awareness and knowledge of opportunities in the sector, or a section for personal goals, which covers confidence or public speaking. We're also working on a glossary of heritage definitions, where it was noted that lots of quite sector-specific language was cropping up in a lot of the workshops with partners. And rather than ask them not to use it, we could collate them and create a glossary of explanations together for understandable explanations of all the terms. And we also hope to have a blog for pieces by the group members up and running pretty soon. And are planning a group for visiting museums and galleries, where we pick one exhibition to go and see. We go in pairs with additional material to help us engage with it, and then we meet up and discuss it as a group, which familiarises the group with venues and spaces in the city and in accessing the free culture and art that is available. While we are getting a little bit postponed with stuff just now through lockdown, we've managed to get one done, and we've got some visits planned for when we can. And this is hopefully part of the project that can continue beyond the end of our funding as well. The whole structure of the project is designed to support our group in eventually taking the lead on the project and its outputs. So by the end of this, our group will recognise themselves as creators and owners of Glasgow's history, and feel confident, valued and capable of retelling and critiquing Glasgow's history of women's lives. So I'm aware that was quite a bit of a rush through of what we've got going on, and there's lots more we're doing or are interested in doing. If anyone is interested in any of the specifics I've mentioned, then please ask in the questions and we can talk more about it. But for now, I'll stop talking and let you hear from some of the group. So next slide, please.
So now to hear from three of our group members, which...
Hello, I'm Kat Dunn. I'm a volunteer with the Empowering Press with Thistles.
Hello, now to hear from three of our group members, about which we are very excited and how they got involved. They're going to tell you about how they got involved with the project and how they have been getting on with the workshop so far. So first up is Kat. If we can kindly please put up the volume of the audio. Thank you, Erin.
Hello, I'm Kat Dunn. I'm a volunteer with the Empower Women for Change, Thistles and Dandelions Heritage Project. So I got involved in the project as there's a noticeable lack of women of colour within the heritage sector, in fact, within the arts as a whole. And the project aligns with my own beliefs. I just graduated from Glasgow School of Art with a master's with distinction in curatorial practice contemporary art. So far, it's been absolutely great. The workshops are thought-provoking, and they've been provided so far by the Gallery of Modern Art in Glasgow. And so because you're getting workshops delivered by curators who are doing the job, it's really helpful because you're getting information directly kind of from the source. So as I said, they've been absolutely great, and it's been really interesting to take my academic knowledge and to be able to kind of add a physicality onto it. Being able to access this kind of information is very rare. So I'm really impressed with Thistles and Dandelions because hopefully this combination of academic knowledge and then academic and research knowledge married with this kind of physical attributes that we're learning in terms of how to handle heritage archives, heritage artifacts, will hopefully kind of give me a leg up in the industry, which is sorely needed. My own work is slightly different. It looks at social art and how social art can cause a change and hopefully start a discourse to help the marginalized communities within Glasgow have a bit of an easier life. So yeah, for me, the project is absolutely great. Everyone is super friendly, super helpful, and it's really good to be part of a project where women support women, because I think that that's definitely needed right now. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Now to the next slide. If the volume is too quiet, then we can make this available, this audio. So it's Hina from Empowerment for Change.
Hi ladies, it's Hina here. I hope everyone is keeping well and safe. I want to show you my beautiful object. It's a lovely holy book Quran cover. I chose this object because the Quran cover as it was gift from my gran to me on my wedding engagement. This is very special to me because it is all handmade by my gran since 1985. It was passed on to my mum first, then my gran asked for back on special request to my mum, and she had told her when Hina gets married, I would like give it to her. The material it is very soft and lovely red and gold color. It's all handmade, and this is very special for me. The the cover came with original Quran with it, and every time I read the Quran, I send prayers to my late gran, as she taught me everything who I am today. I miss my gran as I would had love her to see my lovely kids. It was an absolute pleasure working in this team. We all shared our lovely ideas. I enjoyed listening everyone's conversation. I want to speak more and learn new skills and get confidence in me. I really enjoy working in this project. I think Empower Women for Change is a good source for women to learn new and different things in their life. And I enjoyed the workshop to learn new things, but since I have been very shy to speak and say anything or do wrong in group, so I have changed myself and said to myself, I need self confidence in a lot of things, like talking, understanding more to life and what people have to say. This is a start, and I will be trying my best in all new things in this group. I hope you all like my object, and thank you very much.
So now finally we have Manar. If this is the last audio. Thank you very much, Erin.
Hello, let me first introduce myself. My name is Manar, sorry with that, and I've been here in Scotland almost 3 years. Actually, I don't know how to start, but I will begin with some reasons why did I enter to the Tassel and Dandelions organization, especially in Empower Women for Change project. So I wanted to get more into this community, the Scottish community, or to people who I don't know, um, to make new friends, to get to know new friends from different background, different culture, and to see each other, to talk to each other, learning from each other, become an inspire for each other. So when we talk on Zoom about any different typical topic or have a chat about things happen to us, we become inspired from each other. And I remember that we used to see a slideshow that we was watching stories about women, and what they did before, and when they did a revolution or protest, asking their rights. One of them, it was about their salary. That I remember, it was about the salary that for women was less than men, and they are working the same hours, the same thing. So that was a good. See, women nowadays they become another from before. So this is the reasons why we have to be very proud about women before us. So that helped me a lot to improve my skills from this experience, of course. And one of my favorite part, or workshop, when they asked me, I think Mirla asked me to go to the Royal Gallery Art. I saw a very um, inspired pants or art technical models from people who were very talented. One of the objects that, as we said, catch my eye, we say it like this in Arabic, is a vasa from an African woman who explained by drawing on it the unfair life that she lived in her country. Can you imagine that? The idea, oh my God, it was, she's a talent. She's a talent to explain everything in a vasa that was brilliant for me. Also, one of the things that also I'm really proud of it, and it was a good opportunity to me, is the meeting that we did in Nero Cafe, and that was a nice day. Makes me meet a wonderful woman who were very supportive and kind and beautiful as well. Really, seriously, thank you, Faiza, Romy, and Marilla, for that day and for what you have done for me in the workshop. And what else I can say? And I'm not gonna take a long time because I have to speak about my object. So my object is, I will give you a brief story about it. It's my grandmom ring. It is she my grandmom buy it for herself as a reward, because in that time of her generation was a woman wasn't allowed to work. It was literally a male ward. So we can consider it as a small business for her to support her children, and she was working from her home, sells the food and spices, foods that women make it in house and sell it to other people who ask for. So, and for her first profit, she bought for herself as a gift, as a reward, this ring. And to make it an inspired thing for her children, she gave it to my mom. I don't know, especially why, especially my mom, but that good for me. because my mom has a lot of sisters. So she gave it to my mom, and my mom gave it to me when I get married. So you can consider it as a sample, family sample. And it means a lot for me. Really, it means very a lot for me, because it is very inspire, and because I am very inspired and proud of this lady, because when I faced any problem or hard days, I just remember her, how brave she was, an independent woman. May God have mercy on her. And that's what I wanted to say about object. A very brief story, and at the end, let me tell you something, and I hope you accept it from me. For the dreamers, believe in yourself. Keep on running after your goals. And for women who've been not taken seriously, no one can stop you from achieving your goals. No one has the right to underestimate you and stop you from moving on in your life. So, oh my God, oh my God, I think that I enter in a role of or character of motivating program. I imagine myself now on the stage. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope not taking a long from you. And I wish you the best all.
So thanks very much. If we could just go on to the last slide there, because we thought those words of motivation from Manar would be a really nice way to end it. Thanks so much for listening and for taking an interest, especially at the end of a really long day of such interesting talks. And I would also just like to shout out the rest of our amazing team as well: Hayley Maxwell, Mirella Archidiacono, and Igmana Mirza. If anyone would like to hear any more about the project, or think there's a way they would like to get involved with it, please get in touch. We would love to collaborate, and you can keep up to date with the project on the usual social media channels. And we'll be about after for questions and conversation as well. Also, thank you to our wonderful group for hosting the conversation at lunch: Iram, Lana, and Anime, and Rumesa for her beautiful poetry reading. Thanks again.
Thank you very much for that, ladies. That was really inspiring, and I think probably the heart of the conference, which is really nice to hear. Trying not to well up with hearing about people as grannies and then watching over them when they're saying their prayers and sending prayers up to grannies. I think that's a beautiful image for us all.